life. There does not exist sufficient hyperbole to explain just how brain-melting, unfathomably rare our existence truly is. A blue floating, ocean-filled cosmic fluke. An anomaly, a marble suspended in place by an illuminating, emulating mass of burning hydrogen. We are a floating spectacle. We are a marvel. We are a constant mass of intertwined, headache-inducing yet curiosity-evoking mystery. This curiosity has led some of the planet's greatest minds to come up with theories to try and explain the meaning of life itself. Number one, the religious theory. This is the most universally known, and I almost feel like I don't need to explain much about it. Basically, it says that this entire universe was as a result of the work of an omnipotent being and a celestial who has a thinking and a reasoning past our understanding. So basically, this theory says that the meaning to life is serving this omnipotent being and looking for self-fulfillment and looking for eternal life, basically looking for immortality, basically after we die. There is no other meaning to life other than to serve this omnipotent being and to achieve some divine purpose and to try and get to spiritual fulfillment, basically. So that's what it says, right? There's an omnipotent being who made the entire universe, and this being states that you must serve him and you must strive for this religious purpose, basically. There are people that this omnipotent being sends to earth, and these people either are actual divine beings themselves or act on divine purpose, right? People like Jesus, people like Muhammad, people like Moses, people like Abraham, people like Elijah, all of these people, biblical personalities, right? That's what the religious theory states, basically. Let's go into the next one. The second one is hedonism. This one is by far, I'm going to actually inject my own opinions about this. It's by far the most destructive, right? It's the most destructive. It basically states that the purpose of life is to try and maximize pleasure and minimize pain, right? And here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that as human beings, it has been proven that we learn through pain. We grow through pain. We become better through pain, right? And trying to escape pain, you're basically just trying to stay in the same spot, and you're trying to stay in the same comfortable zone, right? And due to the vagueness of this theory, it basically tells you you can do anything that gives you pleasure and do as least of the things that give you pain as possible, right? That's what it says, basically, and you can already feel the wrongness in that statement. There is no way you can live without pain. It is literally impossible, right? Unless you were living on a rock somewhere, right? You isolated from all humanity and isolated from everything, and all you have food, you have everything, you have a girl, you have meaning, basically, right? And that type of life may sound good, but as you may or may have not guessed, that type of life gets boring because there's no excitement, right? There's no excitement, there's no fun, there's no meaning, there's no fulfillment, because there's no pain, right? Pain changes people. Pain makes people different. It makes people think different. Most people follow this unconsciously, right? They follow this unconsciously because, believe it or not, it's ingrained in our brains. But I wouldn't consider it. I wouldn't consider it a way to live life, because it is going to get very boring and it is going to get very empty and hollow, right? Let's go to number three. Number three, absurdism. Absurdism basically says that life itself is absurd, it's crazy, it has so many different things, and we have to embrace all of these crazy things. So we try to accept them and try and live with purpose and meaning. Number four, nihilism. Now, I've already talked about nihilism before, I've already explained it, but it's a very brief explanation, so I'll do it anyway. Nihilism basically, in the simplest way possible, and this is the way I like to explain it the most, is basically the belief of nothing, right? It states that life is empty and everything is nothingness, right? Everything is nothing, and any efforts to try and find a meaning out of life is futile. Basically, there's nothing you can do. Life is meaningless. You should just sit there and die, right? Into number five. Number five, biological theories. This one is the most primitive, right? It's the most primitive out of all of the others I've just talked about. Basically, this means that life is all about procreation. We are biological creatures and we should do nothing but procreate, right? We should try and, in the words of God Himself, multiply and fill the earth, right? There's not much to talk about that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's go to number six. Number six, existentialism. This is a theory that explains life as it is something that has no meaning at all. It has no inherent meaning whatsoever, right? So it is up to us to make our own meaning and to interpret it any way we want. Basically, if you were to explain it in fancy terms or in metaphorical terms, it will be, we are the artists, we paint life in our own brush, and life is a blank canvas, right? And that is existentialism in a nutshell, right? It was first introduced by a guy known as Jean-Paul Sartre. I think that's his name. Forgive me if I'm butchering the name. Let's go into the next one, legacy. Now, the last theory we're going to be looking at today is legacy. Legacy basically means that every human being born on this planet is born to leave a mark on the world, right? Basically, we are here to cause an impact in the world, right? We are here to do things that impact the human race as a whole, right? That is the theory of legacy. That is legacy in a nutshell. Now, this begs the question, which one should you use? Which theory should you use? Watching through the entire video, you might ask yourself that question. What should I use? The answer is all of them. Here's why I say that, alright? You cannot adopt only one theory in your life, because certain aspects in your life are going to call for certain theories and philosophies, right? Like, let's say you use the religious theory, right? You're a guy who believes that God is the center of the universe and our purpose in life is to serve Him and Him alone and do nothing else, right? Where does that leave you? That leaves you as a person who has no personal drive, a person who has no ambition, a person who has no dreams, right? And that leads you to integrate theory of existentialism, right? You can't just adopt the religious theory alone. That's an example basically. So should you use one? No, use all of them. Look through whichever makes sense to you, take it and incorporate it into your life. Now, this is a video I have stalled on. It is literally reduced the number of uploads I've been making. Literally, I've not been making too many uploads because of this very video. Reason being, see this shit right here. It's been malfunctioning here, and it's been dropping my phone constantly, and I've not been able to make videos because it's going to drop my phone off of, like right now I'm recording on a balcony, so it could throw my phone off a balcony and I won't have a phone anymore, right? So that's the backstory. Not that you asked for it. So basically that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.